the streaming to start recording, so they asked me to just say we are going to start and wait 1 minute. So we will be streaming this this event, and that will be online at YouTube for everyone to check after it. So yeah, that's it. So. No, I guess yeah, it would be okay. So welcome everyone to the presentation of this last issue for now of Temes de Disseny. Yeah, Guim Espel, the managing editor of the journal, and I'm here with Massimo Menichinelli and Dana Esparza, who are the chief editors of the journal, and we'll go through a bit of what's going on now with this in this moment in the journal, because we have some changes ahead, and then we give floor to Ariel and Boris, the guest editors, together with Jonathan, of this last special issue.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is the last of this series of issues that started in 2018, but actually Temes de Disseny started in 1986. So what happened in 2018, that we improved a lot the peer review process, so how scientific it's, its overall quality. So this is a diamond open access journal. So you can also read and download also this previous number. So again, this is the number 40. And basically, we will also explain why it's the last of this series. The other important thing, the last year, we reached the Q1 in the category of architecture, cultural studies, and visual arts and performing arts. So this means that the journal is among the 25% top journal in these categories. This is a very good result. Of course, it comes from decades of work and also for the previous editors-in-chief, co-editor, guest editors. But I think it's very important because not so many journals in design, research around design and engineering are Q1. And it's also diamond open access, so fully free for all the authors. And we hope that also every year this will keep with the same quality, so it depends on how much other authors will cite it and read it, so I think it's important also to promote it.
Yeah, so since this issue, there has been an annual special edition each year focusing on a specific topic, and we decided to go with the editorial team that would be a good thing to kind of broaden the topics that we are publishing. So we planned this regular edition that will be published online and will welcome a broader range of topics, that you don't have to wait for the year that it's your special issue topic. So you can contribute or send an article at any point. This will be a permanent open call, so this is not going to be tied into a schedule or something like this. It's send it whenever you have it ready, and then it will enter the process. And then the special issues, we will not stop doing them. We will do it every 2 years. So this will be the difference, and then this will be online and also printed, like the one we have here, and then later on you can have a copy if you don't have one. And yes, we will keep inviting renowned researchers, and we are currently working on the 2026 special issue that we will communicate and promote the call really soon, and we hope you can also contribute to or the topic or sharing this special issue call. And now, because today we are not presenting the journal in itself, we're presenting this number 40 issue. We welcome Boris Feher and Ariel Gersensbeik because they are here, but we also acknowledge Jonathan Ventura's contribution in this. He could not join in person, but they will explain you a bit about this special issue. So thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy this presentation. Thanks.
Ah, that's okay then. Perfect. Okay, let me prepare a little bit. Yes, thank you so much for your interest in this issue that we worked together with the team so long. And first, I would like to say thank you for inviting us for this role, because I think it's an extremely important topic that we need to delve into deeper. And before we say anything, I think it's important to state the limitations of one journal. So you will not. If you read this journal, you will not understand the complexity in total of the role of the designers in society, but we hope you will get a better understanding of this important topic. Because we are in a time where we are surrounded by multifaceted crisis, and we see that isolation and also apathy are standing as key and critical issues in terms of topics that we must address. And we think that these topics and these changes should trigger a reflection on the strategic direction of the design practice, and how to keep its role in society to be relevant and also productive. We see that a huge change in the role of the designer when we are reflecting on the digital era, AI, working with communities for the better, and also the designer as a facilitator, changing our role. And we also see designers usually as agent of change, who is responsible for addressing pressing social and also environmental issues, rather than only creators of aesthetically pleasing products or services. And we think that this evolution that has been happening in the past 30 years should call of a deeper examining of this multifaceted role of designers. And we should do it through theoretical, ethical, and also practical lenses. And this is what we aimed in this issue as well. We see that these topics are shifting from the margins to the mainstream of the discipline. And designers, because of this process, designers are increasingly questioned by, and also they are more attuned to social, ethical considerations, and they are also trying always to ensure these processes that we are doing are aligning with sustainability, with privacy, and also the broader societal and ecological impacts. And we think that this newfound responsibility, newfound, quote unquote, in the past decades, it's clear that it's currently facing a massive change, and there are some pressing questions that we should address. For example, how can designers effectively navigate these multifaceted challenges posed by global shifts and also transformations. In what ways can designers leverage digital technologies from social networks to AI to create impactful and inclusive experiences that are just and also non-extractive? What is the relation between design practice and also political ideologies? Can designers stay on the sideline when various societal shifts change, the very foundational aspects of our communities? And also, how can designers integrate social and ethical considerations into their design practices and also address sustainability and also as well as justice concerns? And how can also designers effectively mediate between diverse stakeholders, and how can they foster a meaningful collaborative practice between stakeholders that is not oppressive of power dynamics? So the papers that we selected for this issue after the call and a large influx of really interesting papers, we hope that are addressing these topics. And we also know that these evolving roles of the designers and to talk about them, it's not an easy task. And we also, in a paper that we wrote as an introduction, we also discussed some of the tackling challenges of this topic that Ariel will talk about.
Yes, indeed, there are several challenges that we considered 4 of them. Of course, this was the whole editorial piece was influenced by this other project that we are currently working on, which is change agents, and it was not difficult to see the overlap between our considerations. So one challenge that we frame is the idea of not focusing on resources or on artifacts, but focusing on capabilities. So instead of focusing on things, focusing on what people are able to be and do with those things. That's much more productive approach, especially if we understand this social design as having to do with aiming to foster the common good. In that sense, fostering capabilities means really understanding what capabilities needs to be promoted, and in order to do that, you have to go beyond considering resources. So take, for example, a playground. So if you think of a playground like Barcelona, for example, is super hot in the summer, and you can have a great playground, but if you forgot to think about when people use that playground, and you might have great playing facilities, but if it's too hot, then people won't be able to play, so they won't be able to achieve the functionings. So even if they have the nominal capability of playing there, if there are no good shading provisions, for example, they won't be able to obtain the functioning. So the idea is to think about not only about things, but about this, of course, these social-technical systems in a more in a deeper way. Another, of course, working with capabilities implies working with people, because it's not the task of the designer to define what capabilities need to be promoted through design, but these capabilities are are not the designers, of course. So this implies a shifting from resources to capabilities, and from the designerly philosophy to the perspective of design participants. A second challenge has to do with participation. Of course, participatory design is not a new thing, but we need to move forward, and we need to realize that having a say is not enough. So there are, of course, different ways of participating in a design process, and some participatory projects only pay lip service to genuine participation. So that means that having to decide who you work for and who is involved and who is excluded is a truly important thing. So by saying, I'm going to work with these stakeholders, for example, but then, yeah, you're excluding some other stakeholders, and in that case, you are also excluding people from the discussion. Having a say is not, as I say, is not enough. So we need to go beyond the mere consultation to truly to processes in which power is truly shared. And this is, of course, easier said than done, especially when we are working in commercial projects, where this relates to another challenge, which is seeking design justice. Design projects, even supposedly human-centered projects, have been characterized as exploitative in nature, because we ask participants a lot of information, we get a lot of input, we get great insights and co-creation, but then the benefits are not fairly distributed among these stakeholders. So not everyone is reaping benefits in a similar fashion. So thinking about design justice is also shifting towards approaches that prioritize community ownership, not only community participation, but community ownership. But this, of course, is easier said than done, because people who own things are reluctant to give those things up, or to share them with others, right? So we are used to telling our children, no, you should share your toys, but we are not really easily sharing our cars and our sofas with other people we don't know. So sharing is something we expect from children, but we don't do that ourselves because it's truly difficult. Of course, this sharing ownership involves other issues like accountability, like fostering community-led initiatives in a professional way. But because, and this brings us to the fourth challenge, if we want to go beyond being mere facilitators, like as designers, we have we know a lot of techniques for doing user research and for formalizing artifacts, but that is we need to go beyond being just a group of people who facilitates these possibilities. So we need to accept that our role is crucial in this participation. So we should not see ourselves as mere neutral facilitators, but of course we are actors, and we need to integrate these diverse perspectives that need to be integrated. We also, in the article, we talked about some notion that was introduced by von Busch and Palmos. They talk about real design, right? So they basically make a parallel with realpolitik, which is actually a pretty nasty thing, because realpolitik tends to marginalize ethics, and this is not what we want to do, but we want to acknowledge all these things that are plaguing the design sector, things like betrayal, corruption, hypocrisy, and cunning. So we need to reflect on those situations. We need to grapple with the fact that is going on, especially in industry. But also in projects for public sector with a different type of power dynamics play an important role. So the upshot is that we we need to go beyond good intentions, like calling for now, for example, now everyone is talking about using generative AI and using it responsibly, right? So we've been hearing this all the time, so we need to use it responsibly. But again, that is precisely the type of narrative that we want to avoid, because if we, and many people have argued this, that generative tools are exploitative in nature. So it is very difficult to use a tool that is ethically fraught to use it in a responsible manner. So perhaps the only way of using generative AI, to use this example, in a responsible manner will be not to use it at all. Of course, this is very difficult because a lot of actors are peddling these tools to designers, professional designers, but also to design institutions. But we need to remain critical and aware of these issues to be able to come up with sensible narratives and not just go with the flow.
And there is another topic that we wrote about in the editorial that we think is also a key in this transformative process that the designer faces nowadays, and that is the professional community around the designer, and the importance of professional communities around the designers who are helping designers and design researchers, practitioners and educators to navigate these processes and critically support each other within this process. And that's why we also present very shortly the reasoning behind the Social Design Network, which is an international organization that is focusing on knowledge sharing and creating a safe space for people working in the arena of social design and related fields, mostly educators of higher education, to collectively grapple these new roles of the designers, and they use the network as a space for a community of this change, and it's key to have these professional communities to be based on humanistic values that, as I mentioned, to create a safe space that enables us to navigate throughout these really critical times and changing times, surrounded by these multifaceted crises that I mentioned in the beginning, and how can we use these resources that these networks are enabling us to integrate various strategies and include other perspectives based on various localities that are around us in this globe, that supports us in changing the view of the role of the designer in a massively different way than we did before, that goes beyond our usually used spheres and outside of our comfort zones and outside of our localities, where it's really hard to step out, and we think that these opportunities open up new perspectives of empathy among each other, and can build a better mutual understanding towards addressing these issues that Ariel just mentioned.
In the issue, as in it's customary in Temes de Disseny, we have research papers, original research papers, and case studies, and provocations. We don't have pictorials this time. The issue perhaps was not very attractive for pictorial work, but we rejected several papers, so this was the lead papers that we kept, and they were, of course, peer-reviewed, and with some of them with major reviews, but they form a great set of papers. So we have, I think
we have the next slide.
No.
These are the keywords.
Yeah, we started with a few keywords, but then after the papers, we have many keywords that represent the papers. And I think we have the listing, right? Yes. So we have, I will very briefly talk about the selected original research papers that we have included. Of course, you have to read them. It will be better to have the authors to present their work, but we hope we do justice to them. So the first original paper is Thought Experiments in Design Ethics, a topic that is very close to my research work, by Woobert and Sinclair. What they do, they engage in mental exercises that designers can use to refine their ability to handle ethical challenges. So thought experiments, mental exercises as something that has a long tradition in philosophy, but it's a pretty new thing in design theory. Another paper is Visual Communications Breaching Intercultural Barriers, Visual Methods Supporting the Social Inclusion of Young Refugees by Yekli. And this author draws on the Open Doors Hungary project, which uses design activities to help unaccompanied minor refugees integrate into Hungarian society. And by engaging in creative sessions, refugee and local youth develop intercultural skills and shared ownership, demonstrating that visual communication is a powerful tool for storytelling and social inclusion. This is a topic that we also faced in Spain and generates a lot of controversy, unaccompanied minor refugees or migrants. A third paper is Designing in the In-Between, outlining the roles of the designer in the civic arena by Mona and Auricchio. And the paper discusses how civic designers navigate power dynamics to foster equitable civic interactions and empower diverse actors, and highlights the potential of civic design to create, again, inclusive, participatory, and equitable community outcomes by reframing power relations within common infrastructure. So, again, we see that the challenges are in line with the type of work that we are doing in this parallel project, Change Agents. A fourth paper is Co-Learning Scenarios with the Community, Democratic Practices in and Out the Design Studio. And in this is a project involving students, and the findings of the research emphasize the importance of clear principles for successful community involvement and highlight scenario building as a valuable method for inclusive design practices. It's really difficult for me not to connect this to the other work, so tomorrow we are presenting the blueprint in which we offer clear principles and guidelines. And the last paper in the research section is Responsible Advanced Design, Achieving Sustainability through Collaborative Processes by Zucchini and Czelasky, Chiravenia and Passini. They present an analysis, they present a conceptual model combining environmental and social sustainability with RID, which is Responsible Advanced Design, an approach they put forward, aiming at interpreting complex context and promoting effective, sustainable actions. So these are the 6 original research papers that we have selected, and we can move to the case study section.
Yes, in the case study section, we have 3 papers that you will be able to read. One is titled Digitizing the Physical, the Evolving Role of Collaboration Tools in Citizen Participatory Design Amidst the COVID-19 Pandemic in Seoul. And it's a pretty exciting paper by Young Rakova, where they are investigating the digital transformation of urban design governance prompted by the COVID situation, and how it changed the approaches of citizen participatory design in Seoul, South Korea. Another case study we have is co-designing with and for small and remote communities, reflections on transformative innovation, servitization, and agonism by Finardi Koutsokos and De Rosa. And they are exploring participatory processes in regenerating public spaces in semi-rural areas. And they are using the frameworks of social innovation and democracy. And they are trying to challenge the conventional paradigm of innovation, and they are emphasizing on co-design through decoloniality, relationality, and also agonism. And the third one is driving the generative AI revolution, the role and responsibilities of UX designers in the development of text-to-image models. And in this paper, Vacanti, Burlando, and Paz and Manichelli, they are examining the rapid advancement of generative AI in the creative fields, and they are focusing on the text-to-image tools and how they are integrated into the work of artists, designers, and their research workflows. And we also have provocations, one provocation that maybe Ariel.
Yes, we have a provocation by coincidentally an Elisava professor, Luis Sayes, and the title is Design as a Political Object. Of course, a provocation is an opinion piece. Basically, he argues that designers have become apolitical and overly focused on unlimited production within the neoliberal model. So he stresses the crucial role of designers in promoting sustainability and societal change, urging them to lead a transformative shift towards a more conscientious approach. Of course, in order to do this, you could read the previous papers and know what to do, because otherwise, as we argued in our editorial, good intentions won't cut it. Yes. So this is what we had, right? Yes. So now we move to exit.
You can stay
okay.
Yes, so thank you, Ariel, Bori, and Jonathan also. And we also want to thank all the contributors, all the authors, that the ones who were published, but the ones who also applied for this special issue, and also for sure the reviewers of these articles that gave super detailed and positive insights and comments for all these these articles to become what they are at the end. So thank you on behalf of the editorial team to everyone that involved in this issue. This issue, you can find it online. Is as Massimo was saying, is a Diamond Open Access journal. That means that all the content is free for consultation, but also ones who want to submit an article, they are not asked for any monetary transaction to participate.
This is a very good thing, because many of you know that if you publish in open access in Springer, for example, then if the university doesn't have an agreement, then you have to pay like around 3,000 euros for production charges. It's not paying for getting published, of course, but it's production charges are waived here, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. So about consultation, this is open, and all the 39 previous issues are also there in 3 languages. This is an effort that we do. We publish in English, but we also translate all articles into Catalan and Spanish for the local community to be able to read it more easily. So we think this is also a thing that gives value to this publication. And you can also download the full issue in the website, on the journal's website. You will find the articles, each paper in a different PDF, but you can also download the full issue in the publications page in Elisava's website, and also you can buy the printed edition through Elisava's shop. So this is kind of the end of this part of the presentation, and now we give floor in case you have any comment, question, or whatever you need to know about this issue or the journal. And I'm checking also YouTube's channel to see if any of the authors that we invited to join online may have joined, and see if they have any questions. But for now, no one's in presence.
Very good question, and thank you for that. I think if we talk about this topic now, I also should raise the issue of the limitations when we are talking about the changing role of the designers among designers, and it's important to acknowledge that this issue is focusing on designers and design researchers, and most of the I don't know about the Temes de Disseny, but for example, my university has a journal called Disegno, and most of its readers are design researchers or art research researchers. So I think it's a huge challenge to open up the conversations towards the civic arena and towards other stakeholders, as we are in this evolving process, because the ecology around us is and the neoliberal world that we live in does not allow, in many situations, for us to approach these issues 100% in our projects, because of the limitations of the current era. So I think it's a huge issue, and I think civic design, for example, is one arena where we should involve more and more stakeholders in our work in order to address these issues in the future. But I don't have an answer for that.
I don't have a definite answer either, but I do have some ideas. And so capitalism is there, and that's something that we need to grapple with. So we cannot, and following Donna Haraway, I mean, we cannot expect things to be perfect. So we need to start from what we have, right? So I think one important thing is that if we are a profession as designers, so if design is a profession, any profession has some purpose, some greater good and some greater value that guides it. So I gave that definition of social design as in connecting to the common good. One can have different definitions of social design, of course, but if we are a profession, we must have some type of overarching goal that we can all share. So if you think about other professions like teaching or doctoring, you have many different types of doctors. And some doctors, in their free time, they go to Bolivia to vaccinate people. And some others go to the Bahamas, right? But they are all doctors and they all share some things. And capitalism is affecting all spheres of human life, right? So that won't go away. But we have medicine also within capitalism and in capitalistic society, and we do have primary school teachers. So my point is that if we want to be a profession, and our profession is teaching, it's not, in most of the cases, is not designing for the industry and for the public sector in a professional manner, right? But I'm talking more about people who work as designers as a designer for a living. So if they forget about their shared professional purpose, then they become technicians. That's my perspective, and I think that design is in a juncture, and my field was UX, and UX has been diluted, and it's a technical field. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a technical field. It's not a professional field anymore in a thicker philosophical sense. So people do what they are told to do, and their critical. The critical skills that they need to bring to the table, they are somehow forsaken. So I don't know if I'm answering that question, but I think that's about the role of design is something that we need to figure out as a discipline. And we must, I'm a big fan of Chantal Mouffa's work, so I'm a big defender of agonism, so I don't expect consensus but I do expect to see each other as members of a shared practice. Insofar we can see each other as members of a shared practice, then we can have some shared purpose, the way doctors or nurses agree on how important care and health are, for example. Even they might have different conceptions of what health is, but that's beside the point. I don't think we did.
I don't think.
No. We rejected a few good pieces that didn't kind of match the topic. So we accepted those pieces because they went through peer review, but they will be published in future editions. But they had very little to do with the monograph. So that's why we rejected them. Some other pieces were weaker, and we told them that they had some promising aspects, but they need to be reworked. So pieces that didn't fit the topic. So I think we recommended to resubmit 2 times, right? So we rejected a few. So 2 resubmits and 1 accept as it was, but for future edition. And fields, I say that there was some interaction broadly construed that was present, and what else?
I think it was all over. All over. This is my answer, because I wouldn't say that one subject area was more present than the other. Maybe the topic of digitality and those questions were apparent in more papers than I was happily surprised that more and more submissions were dealing with this topic, which is a key issue.
Yeah, and that we expected more contributions from for example, talking about design or social design for non-human animals, and that didn't happen. I mean, very few like post-humanist and in a stronger sense contributions it's like people doing that work kind of read the call and thought it was about people. I'm not a posthumanist in the sense that I don't know why I'm coming out that way now, but I'm not a posthuman philosopher. Let's call it that way. I'm not like Rossi Braidotti, whose work I really admire, for example. But I was expecting more that work on that arena, and there were very little came from there.
Okay, so if there's no more questions, I think we can close this presentation, and we thank you all for coming, and we hope that you will kind of share as much as possible and cite these articles as much as possible to keep the...
I want to also say, like, in a post on LinkedIn, Mariana Matulo, who's in Parsons, kind of complimented you as the great editorial team, so that's that they're great people. So I want to emphasize this call for you to submit your papers. For now, since there's this an ongoing publication, that's a great opportunity, and being a Q1 journal, I mean, it's like it's at the level of design studies. So it's design issues is Q2. I mean, I don't, it's unfathomable.
Yeah, that was
so
a very nice, unexpected surprise for us, but we're happy about that. Okay, so thank you again, and see you soon.